Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back. I took a little break from posting content, but I am looking for new models to get content out weekly. So yeah, I'm just wiping my client's skin down with a makeup wipe. She did have makeup on from the day before, just a little mascara and eyeliner, so you need to make sure that even though she washed her face, her skin is thoroughly clean. You don't want to put makeup on top of a face that isn't clean, so just make sure you wipe your client's skin and make sure that it is very, very clean before you start. Next, I'm going to go in with this Snail Mucin serum. The main purpose of this serum is to rejuvenate the skin, and it is said to have collagen boosting effects. It also provides more hydration to the skin, so that's why I like to use it. It's added skincare benefits when I'm doing makeup. You could take a brush or your hands and just apply this all over the face. Next, I'm going in with this Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, and I'm using this as a moisturizer just to lock in that Snail Mucin that we put on before. The moisturizer provides that extra layer of hydration that you need for your skin. Next, I take this Wake Up Eye Gel from Good Molecules, and I just apply that right under her eyes. I love going in with the eye cream under the eyes or an eye gel to smooth, refresh, and help diminish puffiness under the eyes. The texture of eye gels work very well under makeup. I'm taking a lip balm and placing that right on her lips so her lips isn't dry while I'm doing her makeup. To prime, I go in with this One Size Beauty Secure the Blur Primer, and I just repeat the same steps as before, making sure to thoroughly place that all over the skin. Now, before I get started doing her makeup, I'm going to take the eyebrow spoolie. I'm just going to start by brushing her brow hairs up before I conceal. I take a concealer that's 2 to 3 shades lighter than her original skin tone, and I'm first going to start out by carving out the shape of her brows. Now, usually you guys see me go in straight with a pencil and fill in the eyebrows, but since her brows are so thick and full, I first want to start out by just creating my shape of the brow. Once I carve out her shape, I'm going to take that excess concealer and I'm just going to tap that right on top of the lids, and this is going to serve as a base to my eyeshadow. On the other side, I'm going to start by carving out the shape of her brow, tapping the excess product on the lid. I do this by using a super flat rounded brush, and I make sure I'm very careful when I'm carving out the shape of her brow. So now that I'm satisfied with the shape, I'm taking a brush and I'm just blending out that concealer on her lids, making sure that the edges are very blended out. So you'll see me go in and blend out the edges of her concealer. Once everything is well blended, you want to take a translucent powder and you just want to place that right on top of the lids, setting the lids. Also, do not take a lot of powder, just a little bit, and tap that into her eyebrows as well. To start off our eyeshadow look, I'm going in with this dark brown shade from Mario's Master Mattes palette, and I'm taking this on a fluffy blending brush, and I'm just blending this shade right into the crease. Now, when blending eyeshadows, you want to start off a little at a time. You can always build a product up. You cannot take a product away once you put it down. So just make sure that you're taking your time when blending and adding on to the product. So I like to start off with the C shape, and you'll see me on the other side also. You can see I'm not fully blending all over her eyes. I'm just focusing it in that crease and blending in a C shape. on a different brush, I'm going to take a lighter brown shade and I'm just going to blend that as a transition shade. So you want to take that shade and just place it right at the top of that dark brown shade and blend right up into the front of the eyebrows and in the same motions as the first shade that we used. Now I'm just going to repeat the step on the other side. Now I'm going to take a smaller detailing brush and I'm just going to go in with that first dark brown shade and I'm just going to detail the crease. Now what this is going to do is add a smooth ombre effect in between those two shades. So a major key tip when blending eyeshadow, you always want to go back to the first shade you use because you don't want to lose that shade. So if you're noticing that when you're blending eyeshadows that they're all meshing together, it's because you're not going back in and reblending those shades. So now I'm going to take a reddish brown and I'm just going to blend that shade in between the two shades that I already placed. Now I'm going back to my transition shade and I'm just going to blend the edges of that eyeshadow. So this might be a little confusing for some. And the reason for that being is because you constantly have to go back and re-add those shades. Because again, you want that ombre effect in between eyeshadows and you don't want to lose it or mesh them all together. To cut my crease, I'm taking that same brush and I'm taking that same concealer that we use to carve out the eyebrows. Now for me, it's easier to just add a line on top of the crease. And then I have my client open her eyes just to see if I place that line in the correct spot. Now everyone has a crease, and if you don't have a crease, you can create one. If you guys want me to get more in depth on creases and cutting them, and just different eye shapes and things like that, just let me know so I can create a separate video on that. You want to be very careful when you're cutting a crease. It is very precise, so you have to have a very steady hand and make sure that you get them as symmetrical as possible. So now you just see me tapping the excess concealer on the lids. And here I'm just straightening my lines, trying to get the perfect shape. Now I'm just going to repeat those steps on the next side, trying to get it as symmetrical as possible to the other side. I'm taking the tip of that brush and I'm just creating my moon-like shape. Now I could have done better with this eye, but hey, it's whatever. It still turned out to be a good look, but it's not that symmetrical. So as you can see, I'm trying to go back in and I'm just trying to get that shape just like the other eye, but sometimes it just always doesn't work out that way, and that's okay. A tip I learned from Jackie Aina is to take a warm color powder and tap that right on your cut crease, and it's gonna give you that perfect eyelid color. The one I used was the Dermablend Warm Saffron, and I just love the color that it gives off. Next, I'm just gonna mix these two shades and I'm just gonna neutralize that warm color. I'm gonna tap that right on top of the cut crease, right on top of the lid. To blend out the edges of the cut crease, I'm going to take the lighter brown transition shade that we used earlier and I'm going to take it on the same fluffy brush. And I'm just going to blend right into the end of that cut crease just to get that ombre effect. I'm taking more and more powder and I'm building that color up until I get satisfied with the color. So here you see me taking an even smaller detailing brush and I'm just using that brush to detail the crease. Once I'm done doing that, I'm going to take my transition shade and I'm just going to blend out the edges. When doing an eyeshadow look, again, you want to make sure that you're taking your time when blending. You don't want any harsh lines. To add a little more depth and dimension, I'm taking a black eyeshadow on a smaller detailing brush and I'm just going to add that to the outer corner of the eye. Now I'm going to take this bone color and I'm just going to tap that right in the front of the eyeshadow look just to create a subtle highlight and to brighten the inner corner of the eye. So as you can see, I'm not going far at all with this. I'm just taking this right in the front of the eye. I wanted to show more of the reddish brown shade, so I just went back in with that shade and I just blended that right by that black shade. To draw the wing, I'm taking this Enriched gel liner and I'm using this very small brush. And I first start out by drawing a very thin line in the inner corner. Now going from inner corner to outer corner, you want the inner corner of the eye line to be very thin. The closer you get to the outer corner of the eye, the thicker you want your line to be. So here, start off very thin, then get thicker at the end. Your hand has to be very steady when drawing this line. So make sure you just take your time and just start off thin. You can always thicken the line. When doing a wing, always have your client open their eyes, never close. Now I want you guys to start off by drawing this first line. From the outer corner of the eye, you want to draw that first line straight up at an angle. Now you want to get that line as straight as possible. Okay, here now we're going to connect these two lines together. Now you want to start off from the middle of the wing and you want to just go straight across the eyelid to connect those two lines. Once those lines are connected, you want to fill in that empty space and you want to sharpen that arrow. Now we're going to repeat the steps on the next side. As you can see, I'm creating that first line at an angle right towards the tip of her eyebrow tail. To fill in the brows, I'm going in with this Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz pencil in the shade Ebony. And like I said before, she has very nice, thick, full eyebrows. So today I'm just going to be filling in her tail. Once I created the tail and I created the shape that I like, I'm just taking the pencil and I'm just filling in the empty spaces that I see and making sure that tail is very sharp and the brow is filled in. For foundation, since she does not need a lot because she has really good skin, I'm just taking one pump on the back of my hand. And now I'm just using a brush to tap the product into her skin. So yes, I did only use one pump of foundation, blending all over her skin. All I'm basically doing is evening out her skin tone. Even though she has a pretty even skin tone, we just want very light foundation. When doing your client or doing yourself, if you want more coverage, all you have to do is add more foundation. Conceal, I'm taking this concealer that's about 2 shades lighter than her original skin tone and I'm just placing that right under her eyes. When doing concealer, placement is very key, so just watch where I place this product. I'm not taking it past her cheekbones. I'm taking the concealer right down the sides of her nose and again I'm taking it right under her eye and I'm not going past her cheekbones. I'm going to create a straight line down the bridge of the nose. You want to make sure that line is very straight. Then I'm going to place the concealer right on top of the forehead. And here what you see me doing is sharpening up that arrow with the concealer. To blend out the concealer, I'm going to take this Real Techniques brush, and I'm first going to start out by blending out the edges of the concealer. Now, this is very critical when blending out concealer because the longer you let your concealer sit, the thicker it gets and it provides more coverage. So before you start blending, make sure that you blend out the edges first and that you wait for the concealer to dry down a bit. And to cream bronze, I'm going in with this black opal foundation stick, and I'm going to take that on a brush and I'm just going to pat that on top of her forehead. And you want to make sure that you blend this very, very well, just so you don't see where her cream bronzer start and ends and where the highlight starts and ends. You want to mesh those two colors together. So just blend until there are no harsh lines. To bronze the cheekbones, I just take that same bronzer on the same brush and I just tap that right on top of her cheekbones. You don't want to take this product too far down. You want everything to be lifted and high up. Now I'm just taking whatever is left over on my brush and I'm just tapping that right along the sides of her nose, just to give a slight contour to her nose. So next I'm going to add this cream blush right on top of her cheekbones, right above that cream bronzer, and I'm just going to blend that out with the brush. Again, product placement is very key, so you want to keep this blush right at the high points of her cheekbones. Now I'm going to add more blush because that's just how I am. I love blush. I just think it makes the face very doll-like, soft and pretty. So I do add a lot of blush. And I like to slightly take it under the eye. Now I'm just going to blend out the rest of that concealer. To set the face, I'm going to take this clean powder puff and use these two powders. Now before you set, you always want to make sure that you blend out the creases from under the eyes because you don't want to set those. So take a very small amount of powder on that powder puff and just set right under the eyes, pressing that powder into the skin. You don't want to add a lot of product when doing this, just a very, very light layer just to set the makeup in place. Now you want to take that powder and set the rest of the face, but make sure that you do not use a lot of powder. We're just setting. To bake, I'm going in with this white powder from Dermablend, and I'm just going to take that on the powder puff and I'm just going to take it right under the eyes, right down the bridge of the nose, on the forehead, on the chin, and right on her upper lip. The reason for baking these areas is because people get the oilers in these areas, so it's best to set them and let the powder set. It also brightens the concealer, so that's why I love to bake. But if you have extremely dry skin, please skip this step. Now to bronze, I'm going in with this powder bronzer and I'm just lightly tapping that on her forehead, on her cheekbones, just to set those areas in place. Also, since we cream bronze, you don't need a very dark powder bronzer. So just a shade lighter than her original skin tone, just because you want to set that area. You don't want to darken it. We want to bronze and not contour. I'm going to take the lightest shade in this bronzer palette and I'm just going to contour right down the sides of her nose and connect that to the front of her eyebrow. For blush, I'm going in with this One Size Beauty blush, and I'm just going to take that right on top of her cheekbones just to set that cream blush. Like I said, I love blush, so I do keep adding more and more because I want the blush to pop. Here, I'm just taking a black liner and I'm just running that right through her waterline. To smoke out her under eye, I'm taking the dark brown shade in that eyeshadow palette, and I'm just taking that on a smudge brush and I'm just placing that right under her eyes. Now I'm just going to dust away all the excess powder. To add a little more dimension, I'm taking that black shadow and I'm just placing that right on the outer corner of her eye. So I'm not taking that all the way, just on the outer corner. Now I'm just going in with mascara and I'm just going to coat her bottom lashes. And I'm not going to coat the top because she does have on mink lash extensions. For lip liner, I'm going to take this gel eyeliner pencil and I'm just going to outline her lips. And makeup has no rules, so yes, this is a gel eyeliner and not a lip liner. But gels have a creamier consistency, so I do like to use gel eyeliners. Next, I'm going to take a lighter shade lip liner and I'm just going to slightly fill in the lip. To create that ombre effect, I'm just going to take a brush and I'm just going to blend those two shades together. I love this Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss in the shade Guava. It's the perfect pink shade, so I just take that on a lip brush and I just place that right in the middle of her lips. Next, I'm going to take a clear lip gloss and I'm just going to place that on the lip liner and all over her lips. To highlight, I'm taking this Fenty Beauty highlighter and I'm just placing that right on the tip of her nose and right down the bridge of her nose. Next, I'm just going to set this face with this Morphe setting spray. Now I'm going to use the mattifying holding spray to set the rest of her face. And this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, and share. And thank y'all for tuning in. It'll be more coming soon. Thanks for watching.